What? Hey guys, this is Joe with the Henshin Hangout. I am joined this week by
Darrel, what's up?
And filling in for Kelly,
Daniel.
You're less sweaty today, Daniel.
I like it. At the moment,
it's very good.
You just wait.
It's pretty hot in here though. But today we're going to be reviewing episodes 10 and 11 of Kyuranger, titled
We have the small giant big star.
And
3 Katamas to save the universe.
That's right. We got new Rangers, we got new Kyurangers, we got new weapons, new mechs.
We
got it all. But before we get into that, gentlemen, how has your week been? Dan, you had a great week.
Man, I had quite a hectic week.
Yeah?
Quite a hectic week.
Quite a hectic week.
Oh my god.
A lot of busyness going on.
Oh man, a lot of busyness, a lot of just emotions waiting to watch this episode. So a lot of. I don't know if I can.
A lot of.
Darrel,
yeah.
How has your week been? I heard you were casting a new thing.
I have been, but I can't talk about it just yet. So.
What company is it for?
I can't say that either.
You can't say that?
No.
Is it Saban? Dude. Can I guess?
You can guess. I just can't answer.
You can't answer any of them?
I can't. I'll just like.
Saban?
I'll just roughly
Funimation?
gesture at all of your answers.
Is it a anime or a video game?
It's a video game.
Man, I really like Kingdom Hearts.
Is it Kingdom Hearts?
No, I don't know. To be honest with
I'm
you.
just saying, I really like Kingdom Hearts. That's all I'm saying.
But even
there's a rumor going around on the internet that you're going to be in Kingdom Hearts 3.
There is a rumor circulating.
I saw it on your Facebook wall. Even people congratulating you.
Yeah, I don't know what you guys are talking about.
I did see it on your Facebook wall.
I didn't.
I'm just saying it's.
But yeah, it's been busy.
Are you going to put it on your fan page?
No, it's a fan page. I'm going to put this on my fan page.
Okay.
All right.
I'll put this.
So we're going to talk about that episode. We are also going to talk about the future of where we think this show's going. But let's get into it.
Galaxy in spandex.
Yeah, if you had to pitch this show, what would your pitch be?
That's exactly it.
Guardians of the Galaxy in
really
spandex.
Good. That's a great way to say it.
And robots.
Daniel, if you were a Kyuranger, which one do you think best suits you?
Given Big Bears. No, I don't know.
I don't know. Big Bears. Fly, JD.
I definitely dig. Is it Shou? The cook.
You think you'd be the cook?
Spada, because man, I like to eat. I mean,
Who the Meister?
Spada? Okay. Who do you think?
I don't know. Who else would? Okay.
I think you'd be the commander.
Oh, what's his name?
Shou Longpo.
Yeah,
the best scene is like,
actually,
he might be goofy and silly, but you can trust him.
No, no. He may be silly and unreliable.
But we trust him. Someone save us!
The next scene, he's someone save us. We're all gonna die. That would be me.
Yeah,
that would be me.
Who are you?
Man, I don't know. There's so many in this cast that it's like. The closest to my personality would probably be Lucky, but Lucky is like ridiculous. Lucky is just like, I'm so happy about like episode, what was it, 11? 11, where he finally gets knocked down a peg. Oh my gosh. Because Lucky's cool, but he was starting to get on my nerves.
He was just starting to get on your nerves after...
Yeah, it was just because my tolerance of like characters are pretty high, but he was just starting to get on my nerves.
The whole way through the episode, he's just getting beat.
Well, let's go in order. Let's talk about the small giant.
Wait. Who would you be?
I think I would be Lucky, but to a lesser extent. I wouldn't be as
ridiculous.
Oh, because you're cocky.
Because I'm cocky. Yeah, pretty much. I don't know, because I don't see myself as Stinger.
Right now.
Because I'm not that archetype.
You're not an anime character.
No. I wouldn't really see myself as any of the other characters. Like, I'm not, I have way more emotion than Naga.
Would you be the kid?
I think you would actually be the kid. I totally think you would be the kid.
Actually, yeah.
I can see it.
I can see that.
I don't know. I wouldn't be Naga. I think Jasmine would be a great balance.
I think you'd be a good balance, actually, too.
I wouldn't leave anybody behind.
In certain, like...
DJ would have been a good champ.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know about anybody else.
He loves those characters.
Kelly's Raptor?
No, I think Kelly would have been Laputa.
Who?
The pink one. Is that her name?
Raptor?
With the hair?
I'm sorry. No, I'm not.
Raptor.
Who?
No, wasn't Raptor the?
Raptor is.
Who's the green one? Oh, the Hammy. Yeah. Sorry, Raptor. Like Kelly would be Raptor, and I think Migdalia would be Hammy.
Okay, I can see that. Oh my god, it's like we cast the whole thing.
Yeah, but I don't know who Jessica would be. That's like hard, like one I can't pinpoint. Maverick, Myra. I don't know. Brian would probably be Spada. That's an easy one, I think. But anyway, back to this episode. Let's get to episode 10.
Episode 10.
Let's talk about it. So we leave the commander in a state of peril. We now know that he can only morph for a couple seconds or a couple minutes. It's a time limit based thing.
You're talking about episode 9.
I'm talking about, oh yeah, that's right. I'm talking about episode 9.
Because
Episode 10
he
is
hasn't
different.
seen, we literally just caught up. So, yeah, Commander.
These are melting, by the way.
Thank you, Abigail.
How close are we to the sun, guys?
I mean, 3 planets. Oh, wait.
Wow.
Anyway,
Wow.
so we have Ryu Violet. We have Ryu
Oh,
Violet.
you can at least draw.
I'm trying to be serious, guys. Come on. So we have Ryu Violet, and now he's Ryu Commander because he's bypassed the time limit, and now he's like an actual Kyuranger. And now this episode starts, and we have Kotaro basically, guys, look at me, I can transform, and he can't transform.
Yeah.
So as the episode goes on, we learn that Big Bear Commander is technically still alive.
Yeah,
This was a great
it was.
episode.
I want to know how he's still alive.
Oh,
His essence, he said he can't move
yeah,
on.
exactly.
He can't, and I get it, but why is he specifically in a Kyutama? I don't know.
Well,
Sentai logic.
No, it's okay. You die, and your spirit has to connect to something. Usually,
Well, maybe
that's how it
because he
works.
was the
You
big
die,
got
bear,
ready
he was
to
the
wreck,
big commander
though.
of all the Sentamas and all that stuff. His spirit essentially bonded with one of them.
Yeah.
So when the kid gets his spirit's trapped in there, and he unlocks the spirit. As what my theory. I love.
Makes sense.
To me, what's the kid's name again?
Kotaro.
Kotaro. I love the simple fact of when he changes, like back and forth, and I like the fact that Lucky's like, this is hilarious. Like I almost want to keep this going, because that's something I would totally do. If you were a kid,
Yeah.
kept I'm like, this is great. Let's not fight the cure.
Grown man bear. You go back and forth. I'm enjoying the whole thing.
But he acted really well too. Like I felt like
did.
the acting from this kid was amazing.
Yeah.
Kid's got chops.
This kid isn't just a normal, like...
I almost want this kid to be in the American version. Mm-hmm. You know.
I think that'd be
That'd be
really
dope.
cool.
That'd be dope.
I really hope that, like, this gets transferred over well in America, because Justin was not received well.
No. Do you think that they're gonna keep a lot? Because listen, when the kid's in the suit, it definitely looks like a girl.
I think
is.
You know, we were talking about that during the episode, and I definitely think, you know, this is a chance to, like, make a girl, like, a younger girl, a ranger. I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
And I like the Ant-Man type power too.
Oh my gosh,
Oh,
yeah.
Like that's really
That
cool.
is cool.
I also like the way
Ursa Major, Ursa Minor.
I also like the way
that
that he fights with the little
the meteor hammers.
There you
So
go.
cool.
The kung fu meteor hammers. That's so awesome.
was.
something completely new.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a little bit of that in Jungle Fury with the elephant mace, but it was
the
not
elephant mace,
not the same. I mean, this is like they legitimately look like the kung fu versions of like you said they used them in Iron Fist. I haven't seen Iron Fist yet.
Well, they use something similar to that in Iron
But in
Fist.
Kill Bill, they use the meteor hammer.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I think that was hilarious. He's running into battle. And he's like,
Well, don't they use it in Iron Fist when he fights the Japanese guy when he's Matt Murdock and they have to fight?
Yeah, well, he has a sai on one side and
Yeah.
then a meteor, just the one end of the meteor hammer on the other. So, yeah.
I really
Well,
enjoyed
a
that.
Sith. I'm sorry, it's a Sith.
Did I step on your? Oh no. Okay.
No.
Yeah, that's okay.
But that was great. The power set's great. The aesthetic is great. The costume looks
It looks
phenomenal.
fantastic.
Yeah.
I like that we have 11 now. Like we are officially at
Finally
11
hit our
Kyurangers.
And we're only at
episode 10.
episode 10. Yeah.
We have 11 Kyurangers. You think it's going to be 20.
I'm almost positive they're gonna hit at least 15 or 20.
No, you got to pick a number.
I'm gonna say 20 because they're only in episode 10, and we still have the movie exclusives as well as the crossover.
Well, the
things.
movie exclusives won't get transferred over to the Power Rangers, though.
Yeah.
No, yeah, totally. But the thing is, like, we're still gonna get extra suits.
but
We're still gonna
yeah.
get extra Rangers, you know.
But I think it's going to be like you pointed out.
You think we'll get Brown?
There are going to be some power-ups, and with the power-ups, I think it doesn't mean that there are going to be more additional people. I think more additional. I think there's going to be additional people. I think what we're going to hit is a full number of 15.
I think 15 also. I also think that if we do go 20, I think that
They're gonna run out of colors.
Some might die. Well, I think they'll double up on colors. Like, I think they'll mix and match. Like, I think they'll be like a pink and white and then pink and black or something. I'm not saying that exactly, but a similar. I think brown is something we've never seen.
Shinken brown.
I also think metals, like diamond or platinum, or
I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah, like metals, like minerals. I think that could be like a ruby ranger where it's a shiny or red.
That's actually not bad.
Well, technically, we are getting another red.
Yeah,
so
I know.
You know about that, right?
We are getting another red.
The quantum. I'm calling him the quantum ranger of the series because we don't know for sure what he's going to be. It's just he looks kind of like Lucky, only the black is more accented. It's like a lot bigger. It's he looks like a quantum ranger version of Lucky.
We could be getting a lot, but before we get into theories,
Yes.
let's continue to talk about this episode. Yeah.
And talking about the episode, and I just one question: how do you guys feel about like a child being?
I love it.
The ranger, because I know what we've had here in the U.S. and you even mentioned it. So how do you?
I personally love like kids as rangers. You know, that's the kind of thing that even like the older fans are gonna get like their panties up in a bunch because it's like, oh, it's not an adult. It's like it doesn't matter. It's not for you anyway.
Well, Big Bear also said it himself.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I wouldn't let a kid that is immature like you to be, you know, like, no, this is not going to happen.
Like this is having a ranger as a kid ranger is like that's something that kids are gonna want to like look up to. He's like, I want to be just like that. That's how I was with Justin growing up.
Also, yeah, Justin, you did like Justin.
That's true.
I also think that the thing I like about this season in particular, it's not just males and females of like teenage to 20s. I like the fact that there's anthropomorphic figures too. Like we talk a lot here in the United States about diversity. There's almost nothing more well, granted, they could have like different nationalities because in Kyuranger, no, not Kyuranger, Kyuranger, like they had Ramirez,
Yeah.
who was like a white guy that spoke Japanese, but he was Canadian, and he was like, Onkidon! Like he was just like it was a crazy like there was him like.
Well, there are white Spanish.
Have we ever had a black rain like an African
I was just gonna ask
a black
if they've had that.
person as a
Can we
ranger
have a
in
black
Japan?
one who's actually from France that speaks Spanish?
We had in Shinkenger, he's not really a ranger, but in Shinkenger there was a person called Shinken Brown who
This is getting so
I love where this goes.
No, he was white though, and I think it's the same actor who played Ramirez actually.
Oh really?
Yeah. So they he saw the Shinkengers fighting, and he was like, oh, I want to be just like them. So he grabbed like a motorcycle helmet, and he wrote the kanji for like brown on his helmet, and he like carried around a kendo stick, and like every time the Shinkengers posed, he would like just appear, and he'd be like, I'm here now. More
So
or less.
he was like he made up his own ranger, like kind of like
Yeah.
Boom as the orange
Yeah,
ranger.
exactly. Only
In SPD.
it wasn't a ranger. It was just like some makeshift
Some guy
outfit.
shows up and it's like, I'm here too.
I'm here now too. Yeah.
So
I'll
there's
save
never been
everyone.
a black person as a Power Ranger or as a Sentai, Super Sentai.
No, I don't think so.
You think we'll ever get it?
I mean, Japan not getting into politics and stuff is a very closed-minded community as far as race goes.
What about
There
what
aren't
about a
too many
female
of us
leader
over
in
there.
Japan? What do you get first? A female leader in Japan? Or
I would female leader in
Definitely
Japan.
female leader first.
I would if it would have to be Japanese.
Yep.
Like every time you see like anyone other than Japanese portrayed in like Sentai, it's usually a villain.
Yeah.
And it's not to say that like that's not cool. I
Do
mean,
you
we have
think-
other races,
Yeah.
but
do you guys think it's American karma that there's never been a full-on real Asian Red Ranger, like an East Asian Red Ranger?
I'm hoping
Just
that
to turn back, they're just
Yeah,
like,
they're
well,
like,
fine. Here's what we're gonna do. Yeah, it just it's
I'm
kinda
really
like a
hoping
big
for
bit.
next season.
You're gonna be the voice of the big bear.
yeah, right.
I'm really hoping.
Can't
But
wait for that.
well, yeah, because I'm gonna be auditioning for Kyuranger whenever that shows up. But yeah, like I don't know. I know Yoshi really wanted to be red.
We talked about that
yeah.
in depth with Yoshi.
I didn't, but the closest thing we have to an Asian red here in the States is Pua Magsa. I think that's how you say his last name. Ninja Storm red.
Yeah. Well, I could have swore there was one more. Mystic Force, yeah. Well, he's Israeli,
Yeah.
so he wouldn't. It's not the same. Not necessarily the same.
But yeah, we don't have an Asian red. It's not represented at all, which is, you know.
Yeah, it's true.
The closest we have is Pua. That's it.
It is the closest. He is the closest.
Yeah, you guys.
But I think he's Samoan.
Wow.
He's not Samoan. He's from New Zealand.
He's New Zealand? Okay.
Well, he's of Samoan descent. Or no, he's a Pacific Islander descent, but he's not like East Asian in terms of like Japanese or Chinese or Korean.
Asian. You know?
Yeah, he's Asian, but grew up, or Pacific Islander, but grew up in.
But yeah, that's a thing. But back to this.
But back to the episode. Yeah.
I love the growing element. I love the power set of this character. Did we get to see his mech yet?
No, that's in the next episode.
It is in the next episode, which I don't like, by the way, but we'll get to that. But pretty much the whole thing of this episode.
We just got a giant introduction of Kotaro's Ogum Sky Blue.
Let's talk about his attitude. Let's talk about his attitude for a little bit. What do you feel about his attitude?
Okay, so I really like his attitude in this first episode because he's the epitome of a Japanese boy. It's like, I'm going to do it for the smiles and the hope of like the people on Earth. You know, he's like the ideal thing that Japan wants to make for all the kids and stuff like that. This next episode, I didn't quite like his personality as much, but I liked him a lot in this episode.
So episode 11, you're not.
I'm not so hot about him in 11, but
right
10.
here, 10.
Yeah.
Well, let's say
10 was like a
with
perfect
10,
like.
what were some of the standout scenes that you guys liked?
Well, he definitely pushed against the grain. He was like, Big Bear was like, no, and he was like, shut up, I'll do what I want.
He's like, you can't stop me, you're dead.
Yeah, basically.
That had to hurt him, dude. Like, you can't do anything. You're just a ghost. He was,
man.
That was all that happened. Like,
That was my favorite scene had to be when Lucky's talking to him on the bench and he's switching back and forth. He's like, "Stay out of my body." I love it. Like,
I
he
was
was so
phrasing right there, and just. But no, I did love the dynamic that he did have with Big Bear. It was great because Big Bear was still concerned, like, okay, you're a kid, and with that, like I said before, I don't think it's right, and blah blah. And then he had to be shown that he was wrong. That Big Bear had to be shown that he wasn't always right. Though he did something,
he was being too overprotective.
He did suffer the ultimate sacrifice, you know? And that's like, okay, great. That's what a leader does do. But also you have to know when to step away. You know, like, he had to have his Optimus Prime, Rodimus Prime moment and all that stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? He had to know, okay, I have to
Passing
step back.
the torch.
Yeah, I have to step back and let someone else do it. And we got a little of that. So, for me, I loved it. The little, when they were fighting and he was outside of his body and he was telling him, I can't let you fight, that was my moment for me on this episode. I loved it. It was good.
Now, what was your least favorite part?
The thing on the ship, the one thing that I can't get past about Kyuranger is just how absolutely kiddie it is. And like, I get it, it's a kid show, but it's like, it was ridiculous. They're like, oh, I tried to smile and I almost died smiling.
You know what? I love that. The reason I like that so much, it was just it was almost like the game of Clue. Like, all right, who attacked Naga?
Oh my God.
And then it's such a comedic, like, all right, I slipped on a banana peel moment.
It just felt like so out of place in this episode. If this had
it was complete filler for everyone else to do.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. It's like, if this had been in another episode,
but
fine.
I think the smart thing it does, though, the reason why it's in there is because it built up the tension from last week's episode, or episode 9, which was like, this is all happening. The commander became Violet, and this is the reason why, and you get the backstory. Mm-hmm. So it seemed like there was a lot more on the line. I think this broke the tension of like, all right, we're gonna continue that. Something crazy is going on. Was it Spada's cooking that has him down? Was it like who's the traitor kind of a deal? But there was like, well, no, it's none of that. He just slipped. Like, I think it broke the tension on the ship of like, okay, well, we can almost let our guard down a little bit.
But the thing is that they were about to fly into the sun, and there's like they're not
That's true,
trying
too.
anything,
Well,
and that's what I don't like.
There was nothing they could do. They were until later when they figured out what it was. But there was nothing they could do because the bad guy did give us the answer that said, "Well, I'm controlling the ship. As long as I'm alive, this is what's going to happen."
No, and
they
I
accepted
understand
it.
that.
But the thing is, you have to realize they're at a moment where when you get desperate, you just don't know what else to do.
Well,
and that's what was happening. You're so desperate because you're about to die. That's all you know. So you're like, well, there's nothing else we can do. And we have to do something. And it's like when, if you're on a ship and it's sinking and you can't get out of it, after a while, people they have to feel like it's fight or flight. And you can't fight. So it's time to fight.
I mean,
and
the thing was for this episode is that totally they couldn't do anything. But then it wasn't until they got really close to the sun that Stinger was like, "Hey, can you guys check the freaking navigation? We're literally about to fall into the sun. It's like, can you actually try doing something? Because no one tried anything.
That is true.
And that's
Very
why I'm
true.
like, really, guys? You're all about to die. You're all this universe has to survive, and they're playing.
Well,
Clue?
do you think Stinger? Yeah, they are. Do you think Stinger
Stinger's
is the
the
audience perception character?
I guess in this episode, yes,
yeah.
I would definitely say that.
Well, because he was very upset when they started to do the roulette thing. He was like,
I love the Q-let.
Like when they did the Q-let, and then they were like, so this is who it was because that's what the rule of Q-let says. It went right to him, and he was like,
We're gonna
okay, you know what? I'm surrounded by idiots.
We're gonna
Like,
implement the
literally.
Q-let system on a show that we're gonna be doing pretty soon that nobody realizes, but that system is gonna be awesome once that's up.
Oh my god.
All right, let's move on to episode 11.
Okay, all right.
One thing I loved was first thing we start off with was Lucky being kind of unlucky, and like Darrel said, it dropped him down a peg.
I really enjoyed that.
I think that was amazing. Watch this. It dropped him down a peg. I think that was
Our
hilarious.
technical producer was just pretty much like asleep, guys.
They were just asleep, and it was just really funny.
We kept them up all morning. We're late until the afternoon.
Anyway,
So the Q-let, him being unlucky was great.
yeah.
I also like the fact of him questioning it. Because they were like, hey, did you win the contest this week? And he's like, actually, I didn't. They're like, what?
What?
Because they're so used to him winning everything. And it's not just a string of bad luck.
No.
There's more behind it.
No, there's a big piece behind it.
So
We're trying to
when
find
things
out
go
later.
wrong with me, I like to blame a little thing called retrograde.
Because
real.
it's always happening. Retrograde, something is always in retrograde, I swear.
Have you ever dealt with retrograde?
No.
Retrograde is certain times a year where Mercury is in retrograde, and there's certain things that you're not supposed to do.
But
You're
it's
not
not
like
only
you'll have
Mercury, other
transportation
planets are.
problems. You can have some people from your past usually come out from your past and they could be relationship problems. You're never supposed to sign business deals during retrograde because everything's thrown out of whack. News for the future.
I've never.
Now, I didn't believe this.
Oh, until.
I didn't believe this because I thought JD, our producer, his brother was all about it. I didn't believe it. I thought it was all bullshit. And so I was driving home one night, and it was the last day of retrograde. Maybe 6 hours left in retrograde, and I hit somebody, by not paying attention. Yeah, granted, it was my fault, but usually I'm really safe with that kind of stuff. Fucking retrograde, man.
I got my car towed from in front of the studio.
That was retrograde on the day before Christmas Eve.
Yes.
Really?
Literally, yeah.
Oh, that's
and
awful.
then due to retrograde, it made it even worse, where they were closed the next day, so I couldn't get the car out.
And the day
then I
after.
had the day after, and then with that, I had to pay for all. Oh my gosh! So retrograde is real. I'm just saying, I've never suffered.
I don't think I've
it
ever.
And then
Maybe
I don't know.
Maybe you're gonna pay
Recently
attention
for
to
this
it.
Maybe I just haven't realized it myself, but I don't know if anything like that has
Well, maybe it's
Recently, I
because
had a
when
flat
bad
tire.
things happen, you don't realize it's retrograde.
Right.
But it could be retrograde.
So think about that, guys.
Think about that.
I mean,
for
we're
the
talking
future.
about things. We're talking about galactic heroes and everything, guys.
But this is the
you
thing.
know.
So it's almost like their version of retrograde, why Lucky's power is kind of getting affected by
Right.
this.
Yeah.
Another cool thing too in this episode is I like the anticipation when they get to the Q-let and he's anticipating his to come out. And when his little thing, what do they call it? The
Kyutamas?
The Kyutama comes out. He is so excited, and then they're like, "But yours gets chosen every time."
Yeah.
I like it.
But he had the
that.
flashback and the worry that it wasn't going to work, and he was having issues already before for like bad luck. So he just thought everything's coming through. So it was cool to see that it came out. He was like, "Yeah, lucky," and he thought everything was great.
Yeah,
everything was great. And then, sure enough,
he gets down to the planet.
Poop.
He gets down to the planet, and it's almost like another slip on the banana peel moment. And then like the sign falls on his head.
He legitimately has a slip on a banana. Like you can't get more literal than that.
Oh man, whoa! And he falls over.
The sign falls on his head.
And then he's like, oh.
And we forgot about our little stowaway.
Oh yeah, Kotaro just shows up because he really wants to fight. See, this is the part of like, I understand he's a kid, I do, but he's like, he should know better. He's fighting with this intergalactic.
But I feel like
force.
I don't know. I feel like that's a story that's told through time. Like for example, when Kitty Pryde joins the X-Men, she was the same way.
Yeah.
When X-Men animated, Jubilee was the same way. Always wanted to go on the missions, but they would never let her go on the missions. I think that's just a trope for being like Justin. I would even say Justin in Power Rangers Turbo.
Oh yeah.
Like they're always the most overzealous. It's because they're the most excitable.
Yeah. And I totally understand that. But I don't know.
You think he'll learn you think he learned his lesson?
I want to say yes. Like even as the episode progressed, he was just like that giant death worm. Everyone, even the villains, were like afraid of it. And he's like, "No, I'm gonna go fight it. I'm gonna go punch it in the face." And it's like, what? Stop that!
He's serious.
Listen to them. Their villains are afraid. Like, I don't know. That was kind of like a dude. You're retarded. Stop. Please stop.
One thing you did like that I also liked was the ones that were chosen. Like they looked
great.
A great team. Mm-hmm. So it was Champ, Stinger,
Spada, Commander, and Kotaro.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a great aesthetically. I love that. That looks so cool together.
And they were a great like Ranger team.
Oh, definitely.
I love that too. I think that was great. Then we get our fight. Oh, did we have more with Lucky?
We did. Well, he kept losing. That's the thing. Like, he kept getting his butt whooped. Like, every time he tried doing something.
This was great, by the way.
He kept missing. He kept doing... And that's another thing. I'm glad that this finally happened because it knocked him down a peg. Because he's just so used to winning. And that really started to, I'm going to win no matter what because I'm lucky. They even acknowledged that in the last episode when Bear is like... Shou Longpo just let you do whatever the hell you want
because you're lucky. Yeah,
and he's like, yeah, totally, yeah, whatever. And that arrogance was like, oh, I can't wait for something to happen to you, and it finally happened. So you
did get knocked down a bit, but it's a big knockdown though, because there was actual stakes involved.
Yeah,
and I think that if any time for him not to be lucky and too cocky. This was it, because it actually cost the team.
Yeah, because he just kept pushing himself. Like, he knew he wasn't lucky, but he just kept going and going and going.
True. And that was something I didn't realize until, right now, putting it all together, when you said, I love how they just make their decisions with things. And he was like, all right, so which way do we go? Itty, mitty, mighty, mo.
Yeah, it's like...
Itty, mitty, mighty, mo, according to what you guys are really doing, that's almost like your life is hanging in the balance. Itty, mitty, mighty, mo. Oh, great, we're going to go this way.
I mean, I think...
the little one looks at him for a second. He goes, it's okay, I'm lucky. And he was like, all right, I guess. And then they ran off that way right into trouble. And it's because of his cockiness, his sure-footed, oh, I know what I'm going to do, that I didn't realize everything that he suffered for that episode was because he rushed headlong into it.
Yeah.
On his own and was like, oh yes.
He was relying too much on his luck, and that's what really got him in trouble. And that's what I really wanted to happen. I wanted his luck to get him in trouble.
Well, this is also one of the, I don't want to say one of the first, but this is also a Sentai series where Red isn't necessarily the leader.
Yeah. He
might be sometimes in the middle.
He's the field commander.
I wouldn't even say that because they establish in an episode that they don't need a leader. There is no leader.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
I mean, obviously, if there is a leader, it's the commander because he's the one that tells them listen, you can't do this again.
Yeah.
Even though he's kind of like this goofy kind of guy. But it's definitely not Lucky. If anybody I feel like is the leader that has proven it in past episodes, is calling the shots, telling what to do, it's Stinger.
Yeah.
Yep.
It seems like Stinger might be the one that's kind of taking more of the charge. Another thing that we're failing to mention is also they are trying to find the Atlas. What's it called? The Atlas ship?
The Argo ship.
The Argo ship. That's a
I
big
think it would
plot.
be cooler if it called the
Atlas ship?
Yeah.
But the Argo ship is. I wonder if that's just like based on the Argo from Legend from like.
I think it definitely
has
is.
to.
Because the one that they're on right now is the Orion.
Yeah, exactly. So Argo just makes sense.
I can't remember the Kyutamas that they need, but they lost one of the ones that they needed for it because they need 3 of them because Lucky was being a butthole and not, you know.
What do you think we'll find on the Argo when we eventually get there?
I think it's gonna be another mech. You love those.
It will for sure be another mech, but I do think it'll be another Ranger.
Ooh.
I didn't think about that.
So wait, I think I missed the episode. What happened to?
I think it'll be your
General-
Quantum Ranger guy.
What happened to like General whatever the guy that
Grievous.
no, the dude is like his episode
Hawk.
was his secret was he was also a ranger at one time. He was the purple one.
The dragon?
No, not the dragon. There
The
was,
commander?
What are you
What are you
No,
talking
he was-
about?
Like they. Oh yeah, it was the commander. He rushed up. I'm sorry. My head is everywhere right now. I'm sorry.
Were you really talking about the commander?
Yeah, I was. I thought about it for a second. I was like, wait, because I'm.
So they find another
and then-
commander, right?
Yeah, right.
And,
so what happens is.
You hear to hear on hashtag
I'm
show.
sorry, it's my fan fiction, guys. I'm
It's,
sorry.
retconning the story.
I'm getting so confused. I wrote my own fan fiction.
No, one
So
thing
then-
one thing I do like about this though is you see Lucky finally defeated. And it's not even a simple fact of, you know, it wasn't a simple fact of we just lost. And yeah, poor Lucky. It's
That
like,
poor
no, well,
jacket.
he lost it for us.
Yeah.
Like he you know, he's unlucky. I don't think necessarily anyone kind of felt sorry for him. Maybe a little.
Maybe a
I think
little.
maybe a little. But I don't feel like
I know, obviously, the crew of the Kyuranger.
I
you
think
know,
Stinger
they're
was
all,
more pissed.
They're all
Stinger
like,
was more
Stinger
upset.
was upset. Disappointed, actually.
By the
Not
way,
upset, he was
speaking of
disappointed.
Stinger, we even get a little bit of that. I think that was the episode. Was it this episode or the
It
episode
was
before?
kind of both. Because,
See that relationship with the little guy?
yeah,
flourished a little
he's
bit.
now the Aniki. For those of you that
he
don't
was
know
fine.
what Aniki means, it's like a Big Brother
I
figure.
thought it was the guy that made the cosplays.
I mean, yeah, it is. But Aniki is usually used to signify like, oh, you're a Big Brother figure. I looked up to you. You're my Aniki now.
Okay.
Or boss, or something like that. They use that term in Digimon and a bunch of other stuff.
Digimon. You have a funny story about Digimon.
Oh yeah. We're not going to talk about that there.
Yeah, well. You just lead to it. Now we'll never know. I mean,
No, you'll never know.
Oh, well.
But if you request this at a con, maybe you might.
Or if Darrel's ever a driver for you, like an Uber or something, there's another.
There you go. Because you're like, hey, your stars are in my hand or whatever. And there, yeah, that would be great.
But anyway, back to this. I think it's quite hilarious that, well, not hilarious, but I think it's kind of cool that we get a little bit of Stinger's backstory of his brother.
We get more on
And
his
I like
brother.
that the little boy calls him Aniki.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
Because they share similar stories.
He definitely sees himself in, I think, in the
Oh,
little boy.
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Also,
like-
we get a little glimpse in a little bit more into Lucky's backstory.
Yes.
Which we got a small. Well,
We got a small
larger
tidbit.
one.
Yeah, we have a larger scene of it now
Yeah.
with he's in these like palacey kind of clothes and things are burning and everything and he's crying.
By himself.
I mean,
As a
like
kid.
this child actor they got, that's some grade A crying. Like,
Yeah.
I'm convinced.
I believe it.
Yeah, but like I really want to see what his backstory was. Was he always this lucky? Was this a gift? Is this special power? Is this something that, you know, I want to know more.
My theory is he somehow was really clumsy, knocked down some stuff, burned down his whole
So he was unlucky.
Yes, burned down his whole
His
planet.
original name
And
was
his only
Unlucky.
The only reason he's lucky because it's like, oh, you're the only one to survive. Let's go on, kid. And then they made him a hero. There you
All
go.
right, well-
that's not true. That's not.
Let me ask you, where do you guys think we're going next, and what's on the Argo?
I think that'd be cool. As you said, like I wasn't even thinking about like having another ranger being on.
What if it's another team of Rangers on the Argo?
I don't think that's
Oh
happening.
boy.
You wanted 20.
I mean,
What
yeah.
if they're evil Rangers on the Argo?
See, that'd be awesome. I would love that. Because also the thing is, the Argo ship is technically a myth. No one knew it even existed, just like the Kyurangers. And so for another team of Rangers to exist on this ship, like maybe they're in stasis, maybe they're like waiting for the right thing to happen. Maybe they're watchers. They don't like interfere with You know, I don't know.
I actually think stasis is the answer, and when they come
One
out,
Ranger, you think it's one or multiple?
I want to say it's just going to
if
be
it's
one.
multiple,
If it's
then-
multiple, then I think that'd be cool.
If it's multiple, I think the cool story would be, of course, they're in stasis. When they get out of stasis, they are convinced that our Kyurangers are actually bad, and they would, fight against them.
Like the original team of Kyurangers, maybe.
Yeah. But if not, then if it's just one, it's just one. And
Look,
we're
man,
gonna
it's
need
melting. What do you want me to do?
I don't know. You just like.
opening it. Open it. Oh God.
Look at this. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think it's just one. I think it's the red one, the alternate red one, and he might be the only one left from his team.
You know, now that we're talking about it, because the Kyurangers are technically a legend, so we know they existed.
Yeah.
What I want to say, because we knew they were a thing. Where did these original Kyurangers go? I didn't even think
They're
about
dead.
it until now. But are they dead? Sentai
well, are
just,
they dead?
Sentai,
Exactly.
Sentai has a way of like just bringing back stuff. Like we were in stasis, we were in a time warp, we were in a.
I think this
I don't know.
what this lays
Exactly.
in more to the plan that there could be 20 or 25 even.
Mm-hmm.
Like there could be a whole commando of Rangers.
So many.
I think this would be awesome. I don't know if like Toei or Sentai is that ambitious, but I mean this is already episode 10, and we have 11 Rangers. So we have napkins. But yeah, so like I don't know. This is something as a hopeful fan, like I would love this being explored, but I don't know if it would actually happen.
I don't know. I gotta say,
I hope they bring Ramirez back.
he's on the Argo.
He could be on the Argo.
Kyuranger!
He's like, I got lost, but here I am the whole time. Like he's been sitting there. I got what I wanted. I gotta say thanks for even like really introducing me to this show, because it's amazing. It's really good. So, and you guys are gonna hate me for it, but it's so much better than what we have here in America.
No! Take that shit back!
This is so good, dude. I got to see Big Bear die, and
Hey, he died pretty epically too.
He got riggedy
He went
wrecked.
out like a bouse. Like, not only did he get shot in the stomach, but then he was like,
impaled.
he's like, you know what? Go find him, and then blows everything up.
Dude, but I mean, he's like, all right, stay back, stay back. He gets impaled. You see his blood for a second, and then like by the two.
It was like that
semi-big bads.
Superman scene from Batman vs Superman, where he's like, and him
Yeah,
and Doomsday.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then after that, like you said, just no, stay back, and blows himself up to make sure, like, no.
Now that's called sacrifice.
I did not expect to see that. And it was just like, all right, this is setting up the tone, but it already set up the tone way earlier for the show.
Mm-hmm.
But this set the tone to let me know, all right, we are changing, and this show is literally like, okay, make sure you're growing with us. Right now, because we are growing. Someone's dying. You saw it. Let's keep going. And man, thank you guys.
You're
Because
welcome.
I would have
You're welcome.
never been able to see this. And this is great. This is really a good show.
So, is this the only Super Sentai you've ever seen?
Well, I've seen episodes of the show, but yeah. So this is the only Super Sentai show
man.
I've
We
seen.
And it's so early on, so we have like
Yeah.
I think we have roughly like 38 episodes left or something.
Yeah, see, and I've watched everything from 1 till now. So I mean, well, till 11.
Yeah.
Barely in
Uh,
episode
and-
11. We have 11
And
Rangers.
man, such a good show. Like I said, I feel it's better than the Ranger stuff we have here.
It is,
and
though.
We
it
have some
upsets me.
introducing to do.
Well, it upsets me at the fact that it's like, well, okay, I'm gonna ask a question. You guys just kind of deal with me. I'm being a novice. at this
No,
point.
go.
Why is Saban holding back as far as giving us something? That's
Because censorship. If I had to give a reason, censorship. Or he's
okay.
dumbing it down for the kids here.
Well, see, I don't need to have someone. I don't need to see the death of the, like stuff like that. That
Well,
can be seen that's cut out,
I don't
but
think I don't
could
agree
see-
with that though.
I can still see the explosion and everyone.
Actually, I
would get
do
it,
agree with you on
know?
censorship a little bit.
Yeah,
but
that's what I mean, like-
but here's the thing.
He's
Time
not saying
Force
BS.
was very progressive. Like
Very
we
much.
see a Ranger die in the first episode.
That's right.
Lost Galaxy.
Lost
Like,
Galaxy,
we see a
man.
Ranger
Yeah,
die.
like I don't need to see the stabbing though, but we need to see some sort of story progression.
the story
Yeah,
progression.
that's
So
what I'm
my
saying.
problem is,
And it's episodic on here. We don't get that.
I think
really
the
on
problem is that they're trying to push. Personally, I think one of the major problems is they're trying to do every season into one season, but still play like, for example, Ninja Steel is going to be Ninja Super Steel. And I think they're doing that just to say, oh, we have X amount of seasons. We've been going on for 28 seasons. Whereas instead of doing Ninja Steel is one full season with a huge break in between.
But to my understanding, that's Nickelodeon's fault.
Well, that could be it too. It could be a sponsor issue. So maybe Nickelodeon. So we also got to think too. Nickelodeon's audience is a little bit younger for kids. So maybe Nickelodeon as a network is like, listen, you can't do this, this, and this. If they were on, let's say, I don't know, Disney. I don't want to say Disney. That's the wrong one. But let's say they were on like the USA Network for morning programming.
But no,
There would be a little bit more, or Sci-Fi. Let's say they were on Sci-Fi. They'd give them a little bit more leeway.
If they were on Disney XD, I think maybe they would.
I disagree.
No?
No.
Okay.
I mean, you can name me
Cartoon
a show.
Network.
Yeah, if they were on Cartoon Network,
Then
sure.
they'd be able to.
But depending on the time slot, because if it wasn't like
sure.
Toonami, it would definitely be able to go a little bit further.
Yeah. But I mean, if they're on right after, like right now, in most markets, that Justice League, whatever.
Right.
I mean, that sets up for fighting, action, blah blah stuff happens, and yet that show in 15 minutes is becoming serialized. I'm thinking they can do.
But at the end of the day, you got to think about who's paying for the bills.
Well,
and
see,
if sponsorship.
and that's what I'm driving to is, Saban, why don't you just? You're making so much money. Why don't you just at least for the fans spend a little bit of money?
Yeah.
I don't think it's that simple. Like, I don't think it's that easy. All right, here's another question. I got a question for you. You're a wrestling fan.
Okay.
You are, right?
Yeah.
So back in the day, and let's be real. Like Vince McMahon was making hand over fist money in the Attitude Era, and it was more edgy. It was this, and this.
Definitely.
However, who's paying for most of it now? It's NBC and the USA Network.
Yeah.
Because they want younger programming. So Vince McMahon has to say, well, now I got to go PG because I need bigger sponsorship dollars.
Definitely.
So I understand the business side of it. And this is, I think Power Rangers is in this weird space of having to serve a lot of masters. I don't think, if Saban ran his own network, this might be a lot different. If this were even a different era, this might be a lot different.
The thing is that, like, I feel like we are bringing money into that, but I don't think personally that money should be a reason why the story gets so pulled back. You know, that I don't think there's an excuse for that. I remember seeing when Power Rangers first got back as Samurai, and everyone was super excited. And then I saw a bunch of comments saying, like, isn't it sad that My Little Pony is a better written show than Power Rangers Samurai?
No, I agree.
And it's like, I get it, and I totally, like, I feel that. It's just, I don't understand.
But here's the difference, though. A huge difference is, does anybody know what the #1 selling toy brand for kids is?
No.
It's Power Rangers.
It's Power Rangers.
Okay.
It's not My Little Pony, though.
Yeah, it's
so
not.
you have to understand that, like, at the end of the day,
It's toy sales.
it's toy sales.
Yeah.
For them, it's
That's
a
why-
giant toy
that's why-
commercial.
yeah.
Like
Justice is gone.
I did this show with Javier, and or one of the early range wrap-ups, and he was like, "Man, this is crazy because it's like watching a 30-minute commercial for a toy."
Oh heck yeah!
But it is.
Everything you
Yeah.
see is like, oh, you're.
But I
if
do
could
agree with
something
Darrel.
here, I'm just gonna
Be
do it.
creative. You can be creative and still sell toys.
Yeah,
Dude,
like,
yeah, you can still
there
tell
shouldn't
the
be
story.
an excuse to pull back the story just for the sake of toy sales.
But I think when you get notes, it's a little different. When you get notes for certain things, like, okay, this is, like, you have to do less of this, more of this, and more of this. I think it gets so frustrating to a point, it's like, all right, fine, whatever. Like, I think that you kind of, like, just inherently are just like, all right, well, I have to obey so many things. It's harder
Right.
to get what I want across. And then it gets watered down. And I'm not making excuses for Saban.
No. But okay, go ahead and finish. I have a question.
Me personally, what I would like to see with Power Rangers is for the seasons to grow up with the audience. So every 6 years, you have 3 different casts.
Let's say 5.
Well, you can't do 5 because you have 2 years or 1 cast.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
So you'd have to do 6, but
Under
let
the Nickelodeon contract.
yeah, like let it be 8 from 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Let it grow up to that audience, and then like kind of like what Mighty Morphin
You get to
did all
reset.
the way up into space.
Right.
Yeah, and then, you get
And then
to
start
reset.
over again.
That's it,
With
yeah.
a whole new thing, and then you can do a bigger team up later on down the line. But like, I think that's a better form. Like that's the long form storytelling. The reason why the early Saban era is so popular is because they plant seeds from the very
is right.
beginning that kind of pay off all the way to Countdown to Destruction.
Heck yeah.
Right.
Whereas now,
Even Lost Galaxy.
even Lost Galaxy,
that's-
absolutely.
Yeah, because they had hints. Yeah, that's true.
But now you don't necessarily get that. Like nothing in Ninja Steel is paying homage to any of the predecessors before them. Like
Dino
eh,
Charge's fault.
Well,
Yeah, but, you
yeah.
know.
But I mean, even so, like I think that like I don't even think Dino Charge did a great job of paying homage to Megaforce or
It didn't.
Super,
But
or
see,
Samurai.
that's the thing is like when Dino Charge first started, it had such a strong like opening.
Yeah,
Everyone
good.
thought there was like, oh man, this is gonna be amazing. And then as soon as it got, I think it was Supercharged, the story just kind of like, whittled down into like,
I agree.
what is this?
I agree, and then that also could have been done with notes. They were like, okay, maybe they didn't hit certain things that they wanted to
Right.
hit. Because realistically, though, I mean, if we're talking about just dollars and cents and ratings, Dino Charge wasn't rated as high as Megaforce.
Right.
And a lot of fans are going to complain about Megaforce, but at the same time, more people
Megaforce-
watched Megaforce.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you're fans and you want to complain about it, the best suggestion I have is introducing the show to people that you might think like it.
Right.
And having more people watch it, because the more people that watch it, the better the show's going to get, because the more money they're going to put into it, and the less that they're going to have to rely on other things.
So my question is, just looking at it the whole way through.
As we were
Does-
talking about all Power Rangers. Not
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Does Saban? Here comes blasphemy. Here comes
No, go. Whatever. What are they going to do? Set you on fire?
I-
Please don't.
Please don't. But a massive question that I know probably other people have asked, at least probably personally, but not just out loud. Does Saban really care about Power Rangers, the
Yeah,
product itself?
absolutely.
Or
I
is
mean,
it-
if they
does he
didn't care about Power
does he- or
Rangers-
does he really just care about the money that it?
No, I disagree. If he
Well,
didn't
he is
care
a
about,
billionaire now.
he's a billionaire. If he
Yeah, of
didn't care
course.
about Power Rangers, he wouldn't have made a movie and tried to push it so hard.
Right.
He would have just said, "Hey, Lionsgate, here's the movie. Do whatever you want with
Well,
it."
yeah, I'm gonna. But ultimately, where else can you go when you get to a particular level? You're just like, well, I need to do it.
Well,
I need to push
if
it.
he cared about money so much, I think he would just invest in things that are going to make more money.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Just continue. Then what you mean? Just continue doing the show?
Because, like-
Or just go back to
push
doing Mighty
toys,
Morphin again.
Yeah, like I'm saying that all he do is just make the show and push toys that were even more expensive.
Yeah.
So he'd get a bigger contract from Nickelodeon because their toy sales well.
I mean, or he'd come up with a Power Ranger ongoing cartoon based on Mighty Morphin, because that's what sells the most.
that
I mean,
sounds right.
You know,
but he's
technically
trying to
that was
continue.
supposed to happen. Did you know
Technically
about
it was,
that?
and it technically still might in the movie universe. But I don't think that that's the case. Yes, I think any smart businessman cares about money. I think at the end of the
Yeah.
day,
You better.
you're doing it to make money.
Yeah.
Like, I understand people do things for passion, but sometimes passion just doesn't pay the bills. Let's
No,
be real.
well, you start off with passion, but then after a while, you've reached that peak when it comes to passion. You're like, well, now I have to sustain, and that's where the money part comes in.
Right.
You have to sustain the passion.
I will
That's the
say
thing.
they're getting smarter, though. I
Okay.
think Saban's getting smarter, for example, by having input. I heard this is one of the first seasons where they had input into Kyuranger to see what
Yes.
they wanted from Japan before we got it here.
And they are going, from my understanding, are they going to take
So
Yeah, that's supposed to be the
they
next
made a
season.
very broad
the one that
statement.
we're watching right now is going to be
Yeah.
So we're skipping 2 full seasons to get this season.
like I'm
in
really
Japan.
excited
Yeah.
about that because
Right, it's
I'm
2
worried.
seasons we're skipping
No,
to
no,
get.
we're only skipping Zoojer.
Okay. So
okay.
I could have sworn we were skipping another one, no?
Oh, no. Oh, no, we didn't. Tokyuger was skipped in order to get
Oh, yeah,
Ninja,
gotcha.
and then we're skipping over Zoojer to get Kyuranger.
Gotcha.
So it was a really broad statement by, I don't know if it was Saban himself or another high-up official, but it was basically saying that we're going to adapt it, but it was never officially stated. But we have a general idea that
It's implied.
it's implied, because Saban of America already said that they had a lot of involvement in creating the suits, all the gear, blah blah blah. Even the Seiza blasters, they have an orange tip just so they can just ship it out.
Exactly.
Yeah, because America, all of our guns have to have an orange tip on it,
yeah.
and that's why all of the gear has they're all safety already.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's really heavily implied that Kyuranger is going to get adapted.
So with that, worries or concerns?
I mean, listen, a lot of
not
people.
even worry concerns. Things that are you're elated about, and other things
Listen,
that maybe you have worry.
most Sentai fans I talk to were really burned on Gokaiger.
Yeah.
So Gokaiger was one of the best seasons ever, and then we made it.
Have you guys watched it?
I haven't seen it yet.
No.
We're gonna blast through it. We're gonna blast through it.
I heard that Gokaiger is one of the best things ever, and then you get Super Mega Force, right?
The reason for it is so here's a fan that's watched both. So the thing is, you have all this source material, and you created Super Mega Force, under cutting up half a season and just injecting it into it. I mean, that's what they did in Mighty Morphin, and it worked. The problem is that they had all this source material to go off of, and all this ideas and blah blah, and they just made nothing. They made no progress with it. You know, they had there's this one fight sequence that I always refer to is that they had all the money to bring in the new Rangers, the older Sentai that we never got to see in America. There's this one fight sequence where the Red Ranger in this sequence, they're all different Rangers except for him. They reshot it so it'd be Mighty Morphin Red, but everyone else is a past Sentai that we've never seen before. Cool. And there's no reason for that to have happened. Like, you know, like they have the money to reshoot this one fight scene, but they have all the rest of the Sentai there. And they have them called like New Powers, Blitz, Prism, and it's like, why? We don't know who they are.
Right.
I mean, at least say that they're from another planet, but they didn't even do that. Like, there was just no explanation.
There's no explanation.
For anything.
You see past Sentai seasons in this in Megaforce, Super Megaforce, that have nothing to do with anything that we've seen as Power
And,
Defense.
you know, in a way, it's kind of cool if you're watching and you knew the Sentai, and it's like, oh, that's cool, that's from the... But at least acknowledge where they come from.
It would have been even smarter to do like how they did with the Alien Rangers. Like, this is from this planet, this is from this planet.
Just simple one or two sentences.
Yeah, and that could have been it.
They didn't even try to do that. So, you could tell that they didn't take the effort into trying to even edit around it. It was just kind of like, you know what, here you go.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. It's like there was
just lazy.
They had all this amazing source material that could have been cut up and just like edited.
Now,
but they just didn't.
I agree with I agree with him wholeheartedly on this point, whereas that this is a simple fact of, yes, this is going to make a lot of money and we don't care about it. Like, that's where I did get that feeling.
Now, was this before or after Disney had it for a season?
This was after, right? It was 4 years after Disney had it. This is Saban's 4th year back.
Yes.
Jeez.
And they just didn't care.
They didn't. So now we're approaching Power Rangers Ninja Super Steel, which is the 25th anniversary, and it's already known that there's going to be a reunion episode. Thanks to this guy that broke the news for me, because what happens anyway.
Super chat, guys. It was super chat.
But from a lot that I've heard now, we're gonna have to wait and see, because I'm hoping it's good, and Chip Linnett is running this show, and if he's doing it, I have faith in it. A lot of people were a little soured on him after Dino Supercharge. I don't Dino Supercharge, right? That's what. I don't necessarily blame them, but at the same time, I understand that there's a lot of.
I just want to know the reasoning for such a ridiculous episode. Like, there were really simple answers on how to end the season, but they were like, how do we make this super convoluted? It's just like, I feel like it's like, I don't know, that's too simple. What about if we just brought in time travel? Do you think that would work? Yeah, that would work. Okay, let's totally do it. And that's what it felt like. I was like, what? No, there was no reason for that. The dinosaurs are alive. Spoiler alert, dinosaurs are alive again. And it's like,
man.
I don't know.
It does seem like it's its own different, separate universe.
Yeah, see.
But we'll see. We'll have to wait and see. But onto this, I have high hopes for Kyuranger to be adapted right in America. This is going to be one of the things for me. If they mess it up, I'm going to be extremely disappointed. But at the end of the day, I still have the Japanese version to watch.
No,
so
yeah, but
this is the reason why I'm cool with the Korean Power Rangers or Super Sentai that they're doing, because if we don't do it right, and if I didn't really necessarily, I do like Japan's version, but if I didn't like that, I have a third option to be like, okay, this is kind of cool. Like, the more tokusatsu stuff there is, the better it is for me, because it gives me more variety.
right.
Okay, I agree with that.
And it shows me who can tell a better story, us, Japan, or Korea.
I'm excited for it because I think that, the Japanese stuff is, once again, fairly new. So it's shot, the quality looks pretty good, you know?
What do you mean it's fairly new?
Well, how old is it?
Japanese?
Like, no, the
Kyuranger?
Kyuranger.
It's just this year.
Yeah,
Just
we're
this year.
doing it like, so
Yeah.
it's fairly new.
Yeah. So we're going to be, when we get
the
it,
quality,
we'll roughly be, we'll start
About
doing it
a
in
year.
2019.
yeah. So
Yeah.
it's like 2 years.
So 2019 will be Kyuranger.
Yeah, so it's fairly new, which means the
Yes.
quality on it looks good, you know. And when they're like, okay, we're gonna take some of the scenes that we had from there, and then we'll do our small reshoots and blah blah.
Right.
Blah. I'm thinking it will still look great. And my concern, I have less of a concern that they're not gonna be able to stick to the story, because I mean this one is so episodic. There's no way you can't.
Yeah.
If you want to go ahead and shoot this,
You'd be surprised.
Well, that's true. They could do it completely out of order and just be like, hey,
Power
Well, let me
Rangers.
ask you guys a couple quick. I'm going to ask you one question, then we'll wrap out. Darrel, do you want to see the anthropomorphic suits in this when it's adapted?
I do and I don't. And I don't really have a good take on that because, like, there's a lot of opportunity to like cast a really big racial cast with this if we don't include like the suits, the anthropomorphic. And I do want to see it because I think it'd be really interesting to see these aliens, you know, interacting with the rest of like the human cast. It's a thing of like how will the audience or the kids, I guess, receive it. And if you look from a kid's point of view, I guess it'd be like, yeah, let's include the aliens. But if you're trying to appease to both fans and kids, I would do an all human cast.
Daniel.
Either way it goes, those reshoots are going to be costly. No, I'm saying either way it goes, reshoots going to be costly. I dig and love the aliens. I would.
I do. I love them too.
It would just be great to see, and that even requires even more reshoots because there are moments where the aliens are there on like parts where everyone's in their suit except for just,
right.
See, I think I am all for it, and there's a couple reasons why. Because I like the fact that you can do callbacks to past seasons. Because if you have Garu, who's a furry essentially, have him be one of Kruger's race, like from Doggy Kruger from SPD. Have it be one of his.
Oh
race.
shoot! And then you
if you have balance,
right.
have it be a good machine from the Machine Empire. You know what I mean? There's so many different things you can do with that in terms of Power Rangers that I think would be like.
I was totally thinking of that too.
Yeah, it would be like, oh, that's perfect.
But
do this, do
is
that.
there any issue?
Because here's
with
the
like
thing.
internal as far as
Well, I don't know.
licensing?
No. Here's the thing. Here's the thing we don't see. We have to assume that all of these rubber monster tokusatsu aliens are from different planets. So who's to say that there's not those tokusatsu aliens that are good? So that season would be the reverse of that, where you would see good aliens, and it also could be a throwback of like, hey, you're going to Triforia, where Treya Triforia is the king, and you can see, you know, or the Aquitians again, and all these different planet hopping things. I mean, granted, it would have to take a lot more creativity and maybe a bigger budget, essentially.
Yeah.
But you can do it, and this would satisfy the needs of younger fans because you're getting like Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
But it satisfies the needs of the old fans because you're getting
the
throwbacks of things that are like, oh my god, this
because
is
that's
amazing.
all like America cares about now. If you throw like a reference to Mighty Morphin, it's immediately gold.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, we could see an alien with a thing on his head. It could be Dax from Masked Riders like group, or you know, there's so
Trip
many
from Time Force.
Trip from Time Force. I mean, there's so many different things you can do with this. Power Rangers has such a great, rich world,
and that's what I love about Rangers.
I mean, the world's already built. Just embrace it and dig into it.
So why aren't you writing or like connected to them?
I'm not gonna write that. That sounds like too much time. I'll write fan fiction or something, but I'll just tell them how to do it better.
Hashtag Joe for Power Rangers.
Yeah, hashtag Joe for Power Rangers.
No, I do think that I would love to write on that season.
Yeah.
As long as they let me do what I wanted to do. But I think that's going to do it for us. Guys, thanks for joining me this week on the Henshin Hangout. I'm not sure if you're here next week, but I know you and I are.
I will definitely be here.
But thank you for watching. Next week, we're going to be reviewing some more Super Sentai and maybe doing these little tangents about Power Rangers too. But
you're so close, I mean.
Right. Until then, thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with everything trending
in geek pop culture.
And I just,
okay.
I was like a morphing.
What was our time?